रिसेंट जो अभी मिडिल ईस्ट के अंदर जो क्राइसिस चल रहा है उसके अंदर वी हैव सीन दैट मैनी ऑयल प्रोड्यूसिंग कंपनीज एज वेल एज द लिक्विफाइड natural gas companies, they are using a term of a contract that is force majeure. So in international contracts के अंदर we have seen many a times that the companies used force majeure just to like get away from the amount of compensation that they had to give if they will not perform the part of the contract. So recently we have seen that the force majeure is been used by many companies in the Middle East, and the force majeure when it is been used by the state companies or the state as an actor. So basically there is a international law commission work in 2001 that talks about the force majeure in the article 23, where the state if it is not in a position to perform the obligations against another state, then the state can say so that the force majeure is there, means the natural calamity is there, or the thing is nearly impossible to perform for the state. So that is for the state companies, and the state using the force majeure as a concept by not performing the obligations of the contract because of impossibility. But when the private parties or the private companies, when they go to the international commercial contracts, so in that also the private companies can also use the force majeure at the time of war or any natural calamity, whether it is earthquake or any volcano disruption is there. So basically force majeure can be used by the state as well as the non-state actors, especially the private companies that are dealing in the international scenario with one nation to another nation. So this is the concept of force majeure. Another important development that has been going in international law, especially in the Middle East crisis, is the use of preemptive strikes. So we have seen the USA targeted the Iran and its sites and said that we have declared, and basically we have hit the Iran, we have declared a war on Iran on the basis of preemptive strikes. It means that it was used under the United Nations Charter Article 51, which talks about the self-defense can be done. But that self-defense should be in proportional, and there should be a imminent danger as law laid by the International Court of Justice in various cases. At the same time, it was alleged against the USA that they have violated Article 2 subclause 4, which talks about the territorial integrity of the nation. So from where this territorial integrity of the nation is coming into being, what is the historical context of this word territorial integrity? So it was in 1618 in Europe, the 30 years war that has led to this concept of territorial integrity. So in 1648, after the 30 years of this war, 1648, a treaty has been concluded in the Europe, which is called as Treaty of Westphalia. So Treaty of Westphalia, no doubt it ended the 30 years war between the Catholic and the Protestant, but it has also given a way to the concept of the modern state as well as the international law. How it is so? Let us talk about it. So when the Treaty of Westphalia comes, first time the territorial integrity is being talked about, and an agreement is been signed in the Westphalia, where now the nation state wants territorial boundaries to be intact. And it was the time period when the religious authority was falling down. So especially the power was taken from the Pope and the Church, and that power was went into the hands of the nation states, thanks to the traders who are working at that time, because traders do not want to give more tax to the basically the religious authority, because there was too much taxes that was taken by the religious authority, especially by the Pope and the Church. So the traders thought at that time that it will be very wise to invest our money in the new system, and this new system is the system of the territorial integrity or the nation states. So the Christian Catholic system, that has been the power that has been taken from the Treaty of Westphalia. And after that we have seen in the starting of the 20th century the caliphate system that was dominant in the Middle East, that was basically the caliphate system headed by the Ottoman Empire. So that was defeated in the First World War, and we have seen the end of the caliphate Muslim state concept also. So these two things in 1648 as well as in 1919 and 1924, we have seen the religious authority over the world order is been diminishing. And in the recent, we have seen the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. They also tried their best to make an authority on the basis of religious dominance, but ultimately it was not been able to survive. And we have seen the Westphalia system is coming into being, and the concept of nation states now become strong, and now ISIS is having very less dominance in the world. Second, we have seen the extremist elements like Taliban and other African Islamic extremist groups, which talks about that we are having the dominance not only in one nation but various nations we are having the dominance. But we have seen that how the Westphalian system, especially the concept of territorial integrity, is been intact, and nations comes together in the name of conventions against this terrorist group. And in the recent, we have seen in 2026 where the few religious states, those who are working in this globe, purely religious, I means I'm not talking about the Middle East religious state, which are very close to the capitalist concept of America, and which believes in the Treaty of Westphalia and the territorial sovereignty. So I'm talking about the religious leader that has been assassinated by the America few days back. So ultimately, that was the end of the religious dominance in the world politics, and we have seen a dominance of the Westphalian concept, which talks about the territorial sovereignty. Even the United Nations Charter also talks about the territorial sovereignty in the Article 2, subclause 4, which talks about that no one can interfere in the territorial sovereignty of other nation. So this is how the whole world order is being the whole world order is being made, and it was made in favor of this treaty, in the favor of the Westphalia system, especially the territorial integrity system that has been dominated in this 2026. So thank you.